Return of Grandma is a pretty good episode of Full House. This is the 4th episode of the first season, directed by Joel Swick. And in this one, the house is a mess. And they realise that none of them really want to take responsibility for cleaning. Not so much with Danny, but Joey was meant to do the washing up. Jesse was meant to do the laundry. They didn't really take on their responsibilities properly. And as bad luck would have it, Danny's mother is coming to visit. And coupled with that, the house is still a mess. And there's this worry that his mother is going to look at the mess of the house and just say, well, clearly you can't look after yourself. I'm going to have to stay. And I think no adult wants their parents to actually impose on their own home. But they have a tough time getting things in order, and it definitely takes an interesting direction. I don't want to say any more than that, but I feel like that part of the narrative worked out quite well. There's definitely a strong message there about being responsible and not letting things build up to the point where it's just too daunting. I feel like we've all put things off with housework and then realised that it would have been so much easier to just tackle it little by little. There's also a message about responsibility because of Bubba. I won't say who Bubba is, but I will say I didn't really favour that part of the storyline too much. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really get any enjoyment out of it. Apart from when Michelle was riding Bubba. I quite enjoyed that. But other than that, I didn't really care for it too much, but not so much that it affected my enjoyment of the episode. Something else I loved was Dave Coulier's impressions of various Looney Tunes characters at the beginning. Me being a big Looney Tunes fan, I found that really enjoyable. His impressions were spot on. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely a good episode, not one of my all-time favourites, but it worked really well. The Return of Grandma is also one of the earliest episodes that don't focus just on DJ and Stephanie. Up until this point, they've definitely been the main focus a lot of the time. But with this one, they don't really have that much of an important role to play in the narrative. That's not to say they're not in it, but I feel like it's definitely more about the adults in the house and what their role is. Alongside the message of, taking responsibility for the house, it also shows that you can be there for your family in other ways too. It's not just about the physical labour of boring housework, but also emotional support as well. And I think the messages are lovely, the narrative is nice. Never going to be a top favourite, but The Return of Grandma is still a really decent episode.